There's a funny thing about life. Most of us live as if tomorrow will be the day we finally start. We tell ourselves, I'll change when I'm ready. I'll start when things calm down. I'll chase the dream when the timing is right. But the truth? The perfect time never comes. There will always be bills to pay, errands to run, fears to silence, doubts whispering in the back of your mind. I once met a man named Daniel at a small diner on the side of the highway. He was in his late 50s, shoulders hunched, hands calloused from years of hard labor. Over coffee, he told me his greatest regret wasn't the mistakes he made, it was the dreams he never dared to start. When he was younger, he wanted to write a book. He carried notebooks filled with half-written stories, ideas scribbled on napkins. But every time he tried, life got in the way. Work shifts, family duties, exhaustion. And he kept saying, maybe next year, maybe when I retire. But retirement came and went, and the book remained unwritten. He looked at me with tired eyes and said, if I could tell my younger self one thing, it would be this: don't wait. Don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for the right moment. Start now, because time doesn't wait for you. That conversation stuck with me. Because in truth, many of us are living Daniel's story in our own ways. We hold our passions hostage, waiting for permission from life itself. But life doesn't hand out permissions, it hands out opportunities. And opportunities don't last forever. The reality is simple but hard to accept: your time isn't next week, next year, or after things settle down. Your time is now. Right here, right in this messy, imperfect, unpredictable moment. Maybe you've been told that greatness starts with a grand leap. That you need to quit your job, move across the country, or risk everything to chase your dream. But the truth is far less dramatic. Big change doesn't come from one big step. It comes from hundreds of small ones. Think of a runner preparing for their first marathon. They don't begin by running 26 miles on day one. They begin by jogging around the block. Then a mile. Then 2. Each day they add a little more. Slowly, their lungs expand, their legs strengthen, their mind toughens. And one day, almost without noticing, they're crossing the finish line. It's the same in every part of life. You want to start a business? Begin with one idea, one small test. You want to get healthier? Begin with drinking water instead of soda, walking 10 minutes instead of scrolling your phone. You want to learn something new? Read 1 page a day, watch 1 tutorial, practice for 10 minutes. The beauty of starting now is that the effort compounds. Each action may seem small, almost insignificant, but over time they stack up into transformation. Imagine planting a seed. The first day, you see nothing. The second, nothing. But beneath the soil, roots are forming. And one day, that seed breaks through the ground and grows toward the sun. And here's the magic: when you start now, you break the chain of hesitation. You prove to yourself that progress is possible. You silence the voice that says, I can't. Because you did. And once you've done a little, you can do more. This is why your time is now. Not because you must finish today, but because you must begin today. Every champion, every expert, every master was once a beginner who simply decided to start. But let's be honest, starting isn't the hardest part. Continuing is. Because once you begin, fear and doubt show up. They whisper in your ear, "You're not good enough. You'll embarrass yourself. People will laugh. You'll fail." I remember a young woman named Sarah who dreamed of becoming a painter. She loved colors, textures, the way a blank canvas could hold infinite possibility. But she never shared her work with anyone. Why? Because she convinced herself it wasn't good enough. She compared her art to the masterpieces she saw online, and fear paralyzed her brush. One day, a friend convinced her to post one painting on social media. Just one. Her hands shook as she hit upload. And then something unexpected happened. People didn't laugh. They didn't mock. They celebrated her. They encouraged her. That one post led to another and another. 2 years later, she had her own gallery exhibition. The lesson? Fear is loudest before we act. Once we move, fear shrinks. Once we speak, once we show up, once we try, the monster under the bed isn't so scary anymore. Your time is now, not when fear leaves you, but when fear is still present. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite fear. And the more you act, the quieter fear becomes. Remember this, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever could. Failure at least teaches. Doubt only paralyzes. Which is why you must not wait for confidence to appear out of thin air. Confidence is built in the doing. At the heart of it all, starting now is about ownership. It's about realizing that your life is your story, and you are the author. Too many people let others hold the pen: society, family expectations, fear of judgment. But the moment you decide, "I'm going to write my own story," everything changes. Think about the stories you admire. The athletes who rose from poverty. The entrepreneurs who built something from nothing. The teachers who inspired generations. The parents who sacrificed for their children. Their stories are powerful not because they were easy, but because they were real, messy, filled with struggle, and because they chose to act when they could have stayed still. One of the greatest tragedies isn't living a hard life. It's living an unlived one. A life where you always wanted but never tried. A life where the chapters remain blank because you were waiting for someone else to write them. But imagine this, 20 years from now, you look back and see that today, the day you decided to begin, was the turning point. The day you took control of the narrative. The day your story shifted from someday to today. Because here's the truth, the clock is ticking whether you act or not. The years will pass anyway. The question is, will you let them pass while you stand still, or will you let them pass while you're building, growing, creating, living? So here we are. You've waited long enough. You've doubted long enough. You've told yourself one day long enough. But let me tell you this with all the conviction I have, your time is now. Not when you feel ready. Not when the stars align. not when you have every answer. Now. Because the perfect time is a myth. Because waiting doesn't make the road easier, it only makes it shorter. Because the opportunity in front of you today may not be here tomorrow. Your dreams, your goals, your passions, they are not accidents. They are whispers from your soul, reminders of the life you were meant to live. And every day you ignore them, you turn down the volume on your own heart. So pick up the pen. Lace up the shoes. Open the laptop. Make the call. Take the step. Begin, even if it's small, even if it's shaky, even if it feels insignificant. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that today, the day you chose to start, was the day everything changed. Your future self is waiting. The life you want is waiting. The world is waiting. And the message could not be clearer: your time is now.